You may be wondering, Helloween, did you watch that Xbox reveal just now? And the answer was yes, I did. And what did I think of it? Well, some of you be following me on Twitter and saw my very sarcastic tweets, but let's just go over what we actually saw and what was any good. Most importantly, of course, we got Call of Duty Ghosts. By what I gather is, in fact, you are Shaggy, and you have Scooby with you, and you are going with Velma, Daphne and Fred in the Mystery Machine hunting ghosts. Or at least, if I was in charge of Call of Duty, that's what you would be doing. And it would be glorious. And he'd be like, "Yoinks! Watch out, Scoob! There's a terrorist on the loose!" And then you'd murder them, and it'd be brilliant. Anyway, let's have a quick look at what we got. So, they announced it. It's called Xbox One, which is quite frankly a terrible name. So, you're talking about Xbox One, do you mean Xbox Fat? Do you have to name it as Fat, or Xbox Hefty? Then Xbox 360, which is technically Xbox 2. Then Xbox One, which is Xbox 3. Or is Xbox One, and this is now Xbox One is Xbox 3? It seems very confusing. Very silly name. Console looks hideous, but it doesn't really matter what it looks like. It kind of looks like a Sky Plus player or a satellite receiver. I wonder if they're going to change it. Controller looks great. Looks same as always. I love the controller on the Xbox. Very Dreamcasty. Looks great. The always-on Connect, don't really care. Nor I don't really care for or against Connect. I haven't really tried it enough, so that'd be interesting, I suppose. They skirted around the actual specs. They said 8GB of RAM. I bet only to match the fact that Sony mentioned 8GB of RAM. That was probably a very deliberate thing they added there. An 8-core processor, no mention of the speed, so a completely pointless statistic, worthless. No mention of what the graphics card is either, which is a little bit odd. Most damning thing I thought, no mention of an offline mode. Whether that's intentional, and they didn't want to address it, or simply because they're going to do some damage control on that later is odd. While they didn't confirm it's online only, they didn't confirm it had any offline functions either. I'm sure it does, but it's just difficult to sort of go with there. Then they got a FIFA shill to come up on stage and talk about how amazing FIFA, Madden, UFC and NHL is, which is nice, I guess, but this is not really showing anything. They didn't show any actual in-game graphics. They showed a very pretty FMV video. It was like, look how uncanny valley we are, and you see this gurning guy going, "I have the American football. Look how round it is," and you're like, that is very round. You could probably throw it, and it would probably look very nice in this FMV. I throw it, whoosh, slow mo, dun 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 dun, football. Yeah, so that was kind of weird. Then FIFA. There was some sort of mention of FIFA exclusivity. It looks like. It looked like that was a mistake on the man's part. I think, from what I gather after this, that I was just saying, it's come through on my Twitter. Pre-owned block. Oh lordy, they're actually going to be blocking. Oh my! Hold on. Live footage. This is. They are going to be blocking. They're going to be blocking pre-owned games unless you pay a fee. Oh wow, wow. That is really dreadful. Goodness me. I must type this on Twitter while I do this. Multitasking, Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay, right, well that's kind of, changed everything. The rest of the conference seems kind of pointless, really. I guess Call of Duty Ghosts and a few of the bits. They're blocking used games, seriously? Like, seriously? They want you to pay a fee to play used games. Wow. Okay. Oh, I don't even know what to say about that. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. You have one console now that blocks used games and one doesn't. Unless Sony are going to pull out something really unpleasant out of the hat. That is insane. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? That is ridiculous. I just... Like, what? I'm speechless, actually. It's quite rare that I'm speechless. Usually I'm a very... I can talk a lot. I do this quite often. I say things to myself, but I have nothing to say to that, except, like, the fuck were they thinking? That is ludicrous. Are you honestly saying that you want me to pay a fee for a used game to play on my machine that I've paid for, from a game that I have paid for, just because it's come from a used... Wow. That's insane. Okay, before I lose myself completely on this, they showed off a lot of TV functions that probably will only work in America, blah blah blah. Xbox now works better with Kinect. You go Xbox, go left, right, swing your hand around, that's all very nice and has nothing to do with games. Jeez, what the hell? That's just ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't have done this live while looking at Twitter, obviously, because I had things to say, and that's mad. That's mad. What are they doing? That doesn't make any sense. Like, these people have marketing experts. They get paid huge sums of money to work the market and know how these things work. And they've come to the conclusion that 1 and 2 of the main consoles here, the Wii U and the PS4, will not be blocking used games. Then they decide the good idea would be if they do this. Huh. Well, you heard it here, folks, or on Twitter, or wherever you were, it blocks used games. Right. Okay, I have nothing to say, actually. I have nothing to say, except that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Wow, I'm just watching about 1,000 NeoGAF threads pop up all on the same thing, going, it blocks used games, because no one would believe. That's stupid. Hold on, there's more stuff coming in. You can play without the disc. I give you the disc, but you have to pay a fee. Yeah, no, that's not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. I need to read through this. Hold on, we're gonna do this live. Shit, where is this? Where can we? Let's actually see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Pre-owned fee. Here we go. Microsoft confirms pre-owned fee for Xbox One. Mandatory game installation requires all games. Required for all games. Pay will prevent second install on separate live account. Hang on. Microsoft has confirmed that Xbox One games will require mandatory install onto the system's hard drive, and to install the same disc onto a user's drive, another user's drive, a fee must be paid. Yeah, that blocks used games. Damn it, Kliker. He's trying to tell me that I'm not reading it properly. What? No. No. Hold on. Shame we can't get him in here actually and have it recording. That'd be quite interesting. Ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here because, like I said, we need to like work out what the hell's going on and make a mess of this. But as far as I can tell, it's blocking used games. Doesn't let second install after the first one, which means it's gonna block anyone's used games who doesn't, I assume, scrub it from their old console. On the new Xbox, all game discs are installed to the HDD to play. Well, naturally, each disc would have to be tied to a unique Xbox Live account. Else, you could take a single disc and pass it to everyone you know and copy the game over and over. Since this is clearly not going to happen, each disc must then only install for a single owner. Microsoft did say that if a disc was used with a second account, the owner would be given the option to pay a fee and install the game from the disc, which would then mean the new account would also own the game and could play it from the disc. Microsoft did not disclose what the second user fee. I bet you anything it's like 75% of the actual game. We won't know for certain, but that's the only thing that makes sense. They are monopolising on the used market while keeping the retailers completely out. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, that'll do. Yeah, so I'm on a flip note, I'm going to be doing Silent Hill now. I'll be recording that, so that'll be up later this evening as well. In 720p, woo! So that'll be like 2 AM my time, because it takes fucking forever. So, cheers guys, I hope you enjoyed me just going, whoa! Because, yeah, weird. Till then.